Let's cross live now to discuss this more with geopolitical analyst Joe Masanga. Thanks very much for joining us this evening, Joe. So the grain deal has been prolonged for 60 days. You must surely welcome that.
It's strange that, again, the empire of chaos is getting involved and messing things up once more. It was a bit uncomfortable for Russia to see the UN chief starting in Kiev and have a conversation with Zelensky without following what they did at first, because there was taking Russia and Ukraine. And because of the lack of transparency on how the negotiations were done this time around, it created a problem. A few weeks ago, we had a similar conversation at RT where we questioned why was he stepping at Ukrainian territories first to have this conversation without considering how Moscow was feeling about that. So it is a bit of a problem, because now what Russia knows and what Kiev is distributing out there, it's conflicting each other. We did indicate even a few weeks ago to say anything that has a Western interference, it will be very hard to reach in any civil agreements with Moscow, because the West will always not sticking into the agreements as per something that we have seen that they've been doing around the world. It's not the first time.
Now, there seems to be a bit of confusion as to how long it's actually been renewed for. Russia says 60 days, Kiev said 120 days. It probably would have been better and given countries more peace of mind and security had it been prolonged for 120 days, no?
Again, that is why it's not straight, because the person that was supposed to be the so-called UN people who are supposed to be in between, people who are supposed to be brokering this kind of deals, they left the confusion. Now, at this point in time, we're not sure. Kiev is telling us something else. Maybe Kiev is right. It's what they discussed with the UN chief. Why didn't he call all the parties involved, including Turkey, that was the mediator around that time? Why the terms and conditions have shifted right now? That is where the problem is. So the whole agenda of this whole thing is to make sure the world blames Russia. It's also to ensure to put Russian economy on its knees. That's what the West is trying to do, because they are the ones that are dictating to Kiev regime what to do and what not to do.
Now, Russia has said that it is willing to export grain to those that need it most for free. And despite Russian fertilizers and grain actually not being sanctioned, Russia still says that it is affecting the logistics and has affected exports. What, in your opinion, Joe, do you think that the international community, the UN, Turkey, could do to facilitate this?
The problem is that Moscow does not trust what the West and the UN is saying, because they're saying this and they're doing something else. Yes, they can say that the grain fertilizers section is not sanctioned, but they will make it difficult for Russia to distribute to the needy countries. They even said they will supply to Africa for free. But Russia saying that, it will mean it will be in a good light, it will be in good position, mostly with African countries. So the West is not going to allow that. It's going to make sure it's difficult so that the whole entire world can believe Russia is the boogeyman in this conflict. Russia is willing to supply. Russia is willing to live up to the standard of the deal and the agreement. But the partners that they have to deal with this grain issue, they're not honest. They're not people that you can sit and have a conversation where you can have agreement and then you walk out knowing exactly. So the agenda is not necessarily coming from Kiev. It comes from Washington, it comes from London, it comes from EU, who want to make sure that they bring Russia on its knees economically.
Well, geopolitical analyst Joe Masanga, thanks very much for your take today on that revised grain deal. Thank you.